Absolutely, yes. 40 years ago, with the visit of the last time the Pope visited Ireland was the visit of John Paul II in October of that year. More than 2.5 million people came out to see the Pope. There were events all over the country. That's almost half the population of the whole island of Ireland. And in one event in Dublin, an outdoor mass, more than a million people came. Back in those days, almost 9 out of 10 Catholics went to weekly mass. It wasn't all peace and harmony. The troubles in Northern Ireland were at their height, and there were areas the Pope couldn't go. Homosexuality and divorce were illegal. There were terrible scandals yet to be revealed. Social change was beginning to happen. The first legislation on contraception was dealt with that year. Also, John Paul warned of the changes in the world, the dangers of consumerism and materialism, saying this was a threat to the Church's religious and moral traditions. But of course, it's very different today. Ireland has a gay prime minister. It's voted for gay marriage. It's overturned the ban on abortion. The country's been transformed economically. It's much more open to the world. Society, of course, much more secular. And above all, for the Church, though, it's been shaken by these abuse scandals.
The last visit was seen as a turning point for Pope John Paul. Could this be a turning point for Pope Francis? Can he bring the Catholic Church back from the brink here?
Well, for John Paul, of course, it was very early. It was he'd only been in his papacy for a year or so. For Pope Francis, the key question is how to deal with these abuse scandals, as we've been hearing. The thing is, all this goes back a long time now. There have long been reports of endemic abuse in Catholic institutions. On top of that, we had the scandal over the Magdalene laundries, the horrific treatment of young women, the forced adoption of babies born to unmarried mothers. More generally, the Church is being pulled in different directions on its general core message. For some people, they want it to move with the times and accept social change. For others, they're going, don't compromise on the Church's traditional teaching. And as for the scandals, that shows us a problem with the men in the Church, but not the message itself. Pope Francis, his message has been seen as a little bit inconsistent. He's certainly got a challenge to reconcile these differing views. But for many people, as we've been hearing as well, he has a positive message to give, and a lot of people can come together and celebrate the Church's faith, and that's something that can be beamed out across the world.